It seems like Ben Rice was born for this.
See ya. There it goes. A bomb into the second deck. A home run for Rice.
As a Massachusetts boy surrounded by Red Sox fans, he was no Fenway fanatic, but rather a disciple of Derek Jeter. Number 2 was his number 1, giving him a passion for the pinstripes. That made for some awkward encounters in New England back in the day, but now it's made for a storybook start to this 2025 season, in which the 26-year-old Rice has provided sweet slugging salvation to a Yankees team in need. But Rice's story is not so straightforward. His is an underdog story. He went from the Ivy Leagues to the big leagues, a leap that, while not unprecedented, was still pretty big, especially with a large chunk of his college career wiped out by the pandemic. The scouting that brought Rice into the professional ranks was based not in analytics, but in eyeballs. Eyes that watched him rake in makeshift games that Rice himself had actually helped organize. Throw in a childhood athletic experience oriented more around the ice than the diamond, and it's crazy that Rice is here, bashing baseballs for his beloved Bronx Bombers.
I don't think I've taken that many moments to really look around and let it sink in, but it is special, to think about it. It's kind of like full circle, honestly, for me to, grow up rooting for the team and to be playing for them.
Game after game, hit after hit, the Yankees sure are glad Rice is here, because in overcoming the odds, he's helped them overcome the absence of one of the game's biggest bats. When the Pinstripers punched their ticket to the World Series last fall, they did so in large measure because of a large man.
Stanton is going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? Giancarlo Stanton made for the moment.
In a 7-game stretch, from the 3rd game of the ALDS against the Royals through the Game 5 ALCS clincher against the Guardians, Giancarlo Stanton went deep 5 times. This series of Stantonian swats earned him ALCS MVP honors and was perhaps the fullest realization of what this mammoth middle-of-the-order hitter and potential Hall of Famer can accomplish when his body cooperates. But as is a recurring theme in Stanton's otherwise power-packed career, his body did not cooperate this spring. He showed up to the Yankees camp in Tampa and announced that he hadn't swung a bat in weeks because of severe pain in both of his elbows. We've heard of doubles tennis, but Stanton was dealing with a rare case of double tennis elbow. And for a Yankees team that had already been spurned in free agency by Juan Soto, this was a potentially disastrous development.
Now we're dealing with it. So, give it the time it needs, and, we'll clearly look forward to getting him back at some point, but obviously in the near term, that won't be the case.
Stanton's absence made it unclear how the Yankees would fill the DH duties. They went into the spring exhibition season looking for some kind of sustenance, and they found it in a big bowl of rice. With 5 homers, 2 doubles, and an .835 OPS in 20 Grapefruit League games, Rice earned himself the opening day DH duties. But hey, that was only spring training. And considering Rice's success in his first exposure to the big leagues last summer was short-lived, with a 3-homer game against the Red Sox turning out to be a fleeting burst of brilliance before demotion back to AAA, it was fair to wonder how long Rice would last in the role. In this 2025 season, however, Rice has been a revelation. With his quick left-handed stroke, he's produced one of the highest hard hit percentages and average exit velocities in MLB. Through 21 games, he ranked in the top 10 in all of MLB with a slugging percentage over 600 and an OPS over 1,000. And he had already logged 10 extra base hits. It took him all of 5 games to convince manager Aaron Boone to start penciling him into the leadoff spot, where he's continued to rake. And when a hit by pitch on the left elbow threatened to prematurely end his awesome April, Rice was out of the starting lineup for only 2 days, only to return to the leadoff spot and go deep on the first pitch of the game.
First pitch is skied to left field and deep. Backing up Quan, still back. He's going to turn, and he's not going to play it because that ball is over the wall for a leadoff home run for Ben Rice.
Ivy, 1 pitch, 1-0. Home run number 6 for Ben Rice. Is that back elbow's feeling fine?
These folk hero feats have had people wondering, where did this guy come from? Well, that's a funny story. One day, a little boy from Cohasset, Massachusetts, visited the home of the Red Sox and made his mark.
Yeah, we did a little tour of Fenway Park, and when we went over to the pesky pole, I wrote Yankees rule on pesky pole. So probably one of very few, if any, pro Yankees writing on there. So, but yeah, it was a fun day. I was wearing like a Yankees dugout jacket, old school style, so it's a cool memory.
Little Ben's pesky prank was part of a larger childhood obsession with the Yankees.
I mean, you definitely stick out a little bit when you're wearing your Yankees gear around, maybe on my first grade picture day, like when I wore a Yankees jersey. Yeah, I mean, it was just because, I liked the team that won the most, and I liked Derek Jeter.
But for much of his youth, Rice's first love was playing hockey. The sport skates through his blood. Ben played hockey at a private high school that has sent many players to the NHL. He played on the varsity team as a freshman, but as his high school career developed, he began to veer toward baseball.
Hockey was always my favorite sport growing up, especially in Massachusetts where it's such a hotbed for that. I ended up just kind of having more of a opportunity with baseball over hockey. Yeah. So ended up being a pretty easy choice. I just got more attention from coaches and had the lane for that.
Rice's prospects for playing at a high-level Division I baseball program were slim, but he was an excellent student, and he decided to pursue both a psychology degree and a collegiate baseball career at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, where he served as a catcher. The Ivy League school had produced a few dozen major leaguers and exactly 3 All-Stars: catcher Brad Ausmus, who now serves on the Yankees coaching staff, and pitchers Mike Remlinger and Jim Beattie, the latter of whom recorded the final out of the Yankees' 1978 World Series triumph. Still, Dartmouth is not where you go to be seen by baseball scouts. And when the COVID-19 pandemic wiped away Rice's junior and senior seasons, it could have wiped away any chance he had at signing a professional contract. But Rice caught a bit of a break. The Futures Collegiate Baseball League, a woodbat league in New England, went through with its 2020 summer season, even as the more prestigious Cape Cod League was canceled. That meant a lot of legit prospects, including potential first-round picks, played in the Futures League, with the scouts trailing right behind them. And when Rice lit up the league that summer, earning MVP honors and shining in the home run derbies that would be used to settle tie games, he began to get attention. A Yankees Northeast area scout named Matt Hyde took a particular interest in Rice. And that fall, when Rice and his Ivy League friends organized pickup games at a complex outside of Boston, Hyde followed along. He continued scouting Rice the following spring, when the Dartmouth season was again scrapped and Rice resorted to taking batting practice with his dad and even playing in a men's league against guys in their 30s and 40s. What Hyde saw and heard was the ball booming off Rice's bat. Rice had taken yoga classes to improve his mobility behind the plate, but it was his performance at the plate, that special sound of a barreled-up baseball, that compelled the Yankees to take a flyer on him in the 12th round of the 2021 draft.
It's a weird thing to say, but like all the things that my teammates and I did in response to how COVID kind of upended those 2 seasons there was really beneficial, because I mean, in a normal fall at Dartmouth, I'm probably not getting really any exposure to scouts. They're not really coming to watch our practices or any workouts. So when I was able to get all those scouts to come and watch in the fall of 2020 when we're playing these random scrimmages and doing these pro-style workouts, that was something I never would have had, I don't think. So getting all that exposure was huge.
Rice has always hit the ball hard, and in the course of his pro career, he's learned to swing the bat smart. That combination has unlocked his potential. And after spending this past offseason bulking up on chicken and, yes, rice, he has turned this 2025 season into his big league breakout. If Rice's run continues and Stanton makes it back from the elbow issues, the Yankees are going to have some tough decisions to make at DH. Rice can play first base, and the Yankees believe he could handle some reps at catcher too. All we know is that if he keeps hitting like this, the kid who once wrote Yankees rule on a Fenway Park foul pole is going to keep getting his name written into the Bronx Bombers lineup.